Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of College Ball with J-Dog. I appreciate y'all tuning in as always. Before we get started, y'all please hit that like button for me. Hit that bell, go up, hit all, subscribe to the channel. I truly appreciate it. Anybody that's already subscribed, thank you very much. Anybody that's not and you're watching it, please do that for me. Does nothing for you, just helps to get the videos. It's free, just helps my channel out. I'd really appreciate it. I got some stuff that we're going to go over today that y'all probably disagree on some with. So y'all get in the comment section. Tell me if you agree with me or disagree with me. It's been my dream my whole life, y'all, to get to talk about sports for a living. So y'all help me do that. I'm just a man that's obsessed with college football. Been obsessed with college football since I was 6, 7 years old. I always told my dad back in the day I wanted to either play ball professionally or talk about ball. I'm talking about it. Y'all help a man's dreams come true. I greatly appreciate it, y'all. We got a good show lined up today. I've got my own SEC team power rankings. I got my own SEC quarterback power rankings. We're going to go over those. If you agree with them, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with them, let me know in the comments. Also, we're going to talk about the cautionary tale quarterback that nobody really talks about, even though they should. Everybody talks about the Nico saga, but nobody really talks about this guy anymore, so we're going to cover him. Is Clemson and Dabo heading towards a messy divorce, y'all? Dabo has to have the thinnest skin of any quarterback or any coach there's ever been. Brian Kelly's up there with him, but Dabo, man, he always, if he gets asked a question that's not praising him in his program, he throws a fit. We've also got a few other things to go over, like how long it's been since Nebraska's got a ranked win. It's pretty wild, y'all. So y'all lock in with me, grab your drink, grab your lunch, dinner, whatever you eat at this time. Y'all lock in with me. We made it, y'all, to another Saturday, one more night. Go to bed tonight, you wake up, turn on game day. It's officially another college football Saturday, y'all. I'm as consistent as you can get, y'all. I'll give y'all a video every day but Saturday. Saturday, I'm too busy being a college football junkie. I watch it from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed. Obviously, the Vols are my team. I just love college football, period. First thing we're going to talk about, y'all, my SEC quarterback power rankings. Like I said, if you agree with these, let me know. If you disagree with them, give me your rankings in the comment section. I'd like to see what y'all think. I want to interact with y'all, so let's make that happen, y'all. Y'all tell me what you agree with, what you disagree with. We're going to go from bottom to top, y'all. At number 16, I got Zach Calzada from Kentucky. I know Cutter Bowley's been playing, but until he's named the full-time starter, I'm going to have Calzada on my list. And this will fluctuate every week, y'all, according to what I see on Saturdays. So we'll readjust these every week. At 15, I got DJ Lagway, y'all. I really should probably have him 16 this week, but I decided to put him at 15. Because his play through the season's been working better, but last week was terrible. 5 interceptions. 5. I couldn't believe it, y'all. I was down on Lagway coming into the year. A lot of people was high on him. Some people had him as the first or second best player in the conference. I never imagined he'd be as bad as he was Saturday, y'all. At 14, I got the Heisman favorite coming into the season, Arch Manning. Is he hurt? I don't know. Sark says he's not. His mechanics are terrible. His play's terrible. He literally incompleted 10 passes in a row against UTEP, y'all. Against UTEP. And he was everybody's Heisman favorite coming into the year. At 13, I got Lenore Sellers. I wasn't as high on Sellers as other people, but I thought he'd be a top 5 in the conference. He's really not played that great. I know he got injured against Vandy, but even before he got injured, he really wasn't carrying the team like he was expected to this year. He's been upgraded to probable against Missouri. If he puts the team on his back in that game, he can jump up these rankings a lot. But I got to see it before I give it to him. As up until this point, he's been a disappointment this year, y'all. Number 12, I got Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold, if you're ranking him based off his running ability, he's been really good. If you're ranking him off his arm, I'm doing a combination of both. I've seen a crazy stat where he does not throw the ball in the middle of the field at all. I think it was Josh Pate that was talking about it. So if you're throwing nothing but passes out to the sidelines, hitch routes, stuff like that, Oklahoma and Brent Venables will eat that shit up Saturday, y'all. Tomorrow. They might drive downfield a little bit, but once you get down inside the 25 and the field shortens up, you got to settle for field goals. If you're not willing to throw the ball across the middle at all, you're not going to score touchdowns against a team like Oklahoma. Arnold has looked better than I thought he'd look, but he still has not looked good enough for me to put him in my top 10. Like I said, everybody on this list has a chance to rise or drop this Saturday. Number 11, I got Austin Simmons. People was really high on him too. I just took a step back and said, what has he really done besides a drive or two against Georgia last year? Yes, he looked good then, but this year, he's really not. He had 2 interceptions against – who did he throw 2 picks against? Against Arkansas, he didn't really play. The week before, he threw 2 picks, y'all, and didn't really look good. He's not impressed me at all this year. 11 could be high for him, but it's my list. Y'all tell me what you think. At number 10, I got Garrett Nussmeier, another disappointment, y'all. He was top 3 in most people's rankings coming into the year. LSU's offense is anemic, y'all. I mean, they got nothing. They can't run the ball. They can't pass the ball. Their defense has showed out. That's the reason they're 3-0. But if they run into somebody that cracks the code on their defense, and they got to score points, I'm not sure they can do it. I'm really not. It's the complete opposite problem of what Brian Kelly's had. Nussmeier's got 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions this year, y'all. Last year and the year before, under Brian Kelly, their offense was spectacular. Their defense was trash. I mean, they wasted Jaden Daniels' Heisman year because their defense was so bad. I got Nussmeier 10. Maybe it'll click in a week or two. I don't know. It don't look like it's anywhere close to it. Their defense won on the Florida game with 5 picks, and they still only won by 10, and that included a pick 6. So in 3 weeks, LSU's offense has scored 17, 23, and 13. Because 7 of the points against Florida came on defense. Way too much talent on that offense for them to be struggling like that. I know they lost some good offensive linemen, but you got to figure something out. Number 9, I got Blake Shapen. I think Blake Shapen's been very underrated his 2 years at Mississippi State. He runs the offense very well. It's the same kind of offense Heupel runs. I mean, he's not a Heisman candidate or a top 10 quarterback in the country or nothing, but for what he's got to work with, he runs that system pretty well, so I've got him at 9. Number 8, I got Ty Simpson. He struggled against Florida State. He's looked better the last couple of weeks. We're wanting to see what he does against Georgia's defense next week. They both get a bye week. How many times do 2 big teams both get a bye week before they play? Hardly ever. But guess what? Georgia and Bama's both got them the last 2 years. This year and last year, both get a bye week before they play. Is that SEC favoring them or what? I think so. Number 7, I got Diego Pavia. A lot of people have him higher. Pavia's tough. As far as stats go, though, he's not a top quarterback. He never was. He's tough. He wills his team. He makes his players around him play harder. But he's never going to be a top 5 quarterback in the conference. Number 6, I got Bo Pribula. Pribula's looked really good, y'all. They've not played anybody yet. That's not his fault. Kansas, the best team they played. Kansas has a good offense. Their defense is absolute garbage. So we'll see what he looks like against South Carolina this week. South Carolina, coming into the year, was supposed to have his great defense. I don't think they really do, but they do have a great edge rusher. So maybe if Dylan Stewart can get pressure on Pribula, we'll see what he's really got this week. But so far, he's played weak competition, and Kansas ain't weak competition, but their defense is weak. Number 5, we got Marcel Reed, y'all. I think Marcel Reed's underrated in a lot of people's rankings still. He's played his ass off this year. He led Texas A&M to a win against Notre Dame. Texas A&M's defense is actually what's not been that great this year. They gave up 20 points in every game they played. Marcel Reed's played his ass off. They've been in the 40s every game they played, and that includes the game against Notre Dame. So I got to put respect on Marcel Reed's name, y'all. Number 4, I got Gunnar Stockton. Against Tennessee, he played his ass off, took advantage of our secondary being hurt. That's good coaching. He struggled in a couple weeks before, but what I seen from him in Knoxville in a hostile environment, Checker Neyland, that got him in my top 5, y'all. Remember, these will fluctuate, but y'all tell me, anybody that watches this video, you give me your rankings in the comments section. I'd love to see y'all's rankings. Number 3, I got John Mateer. I'm still not sold on Mateer as a Heisman favorite like everybody else is, but so far so good. He's not really got the touchdowns, but he's ran the ball, passed the ball good. He leads the conference in passing yards right now. He just ain't turned into touchdowns on his stats. He's tough. I think Auburn's the best team they played so far. I don't think Michigan will even end the season ranked. And I've said that from the preseason. So he's got a chance to raise himself or drop himself this week. If he plays good against Auburn, puts up a hell of a game, he could jump. Number 2, I got Taylor Green. Taylor Green's been consistent so far this year, y'all. That was his downfall last year, is that he wasn't consistent. He'd have games where you'd be like, damn, man, he looks like a first-round pick. He's athletic. He's tall. He's got a lot of arm talent. This year he's been consistent. If he keeps it up, he might work his way up into a number of first-round draft pick, y'all. I mean, he's a talented kid. Number 1, I got Joey Dimes from Tennessee, y'all. You can say it's biased. I don't believe it is. Everybody doubted him all year. Chris Marler had him at the last in the SEC. Then Urban Meyer talked about how he's cooked after Nico left, and we brought Joey Aguilar in. Well, Chris Marler's eating crow now. Josh Pate's eating crow. Josh Pate said he was going to go 8-4, 7-5 this year. Urban Meyer's eating crow. Almost everybody that doubted Tennessee is eating crow now because Aguilar is that guy. He threw for 370 yards on the Georgia defense, y'all. I don't care where it's at, whatever. Not many teams throw for 370 yards against the Georgia defense. Yes, he had 2 interceptions. Only one of them was his fault. The other one, his receiver fell down, or he might have had 400 yards in that game. Joey Aguilar, quarterback number 1, y'all. If you disagree, tell me why in the comment section. Aguilar is number 2 in the conference in passing yards, by the way. Up next, let's go over my team rankings. I'm sure y'all disagree with these two for the most part, so give me y'all's team rankings in the comments. At 16, we got the Florida Gators. Everybody else has Kentucky at 16. I've got Florida at 16, y'all. They've literally lost 2 in a row. USF, LSU. That USF loss, I can't get out of my head. At least Kentucky did beat Toledo. So they beat their good group of 5 team they played. Florida didn't. So I got Florida at 16. They have a chance to prove me wrong this week against Miami. But right now they're 16. At 15, I got Kentucky. It's self-explaining. Kentucky struggled for a couple of years now, y'all. It is what it is. At 14, I got Mississippi State. I clapped it up for them after they beat Arizona State, but I think Arizona State was one of the most overrated teams in the country. If you think I'm just saying that now, go back, watch my videos. I said it in the preseason. Mississippi State has a chance to make some noise, though. They play us. Everybody in the SEC has a chance to prove me wrong. If you're low on this list, you get a chance to prove me wrong and work your way up. Number 13, I got South Carolina. You lose 31-7 to Vandy, you're near the bottom of the list. You got a chance to redeem yourself Saturday. You go up against my number 7 team in the conference. Go out and prove me wrong, Lenore Sellers in South Carolina. I was not as high on y'all coming into the year. I think I picked y'all to go 8-4. A lot of people had you in the playoffs. So, did you drink the Kool-Aid all off season? Yeah, you go out there and prove people right, or are you going to lay down and go 8-4, 7-5 this year? We're going to see Saturday. I got Auburn at 12. Same goes for them. Good win against Baylor. I don't think Baylor's quite that good. As far as athlete on athlete, Baylor didn't have nowhere near the athletes that Auburn has. I said it going into that week. I said, I think Baylor got the better quarterback. Auburn's got better everything else. So that's why Auburn's down the list, because I don't think they played anybody yet. But they play my number 3 team this week. Chance to move up the list, y'all. Number 11, I got Alabama. Yes, you whooped Wisconsin's ass. Yes, you whooped Louisiana, Lafayette, or Monroe, whichever one of us ass. I can't get that Florida State game out of my head, where you got absolutely dominated on both sides of the ball. And I'm not high on Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's a 5-7, 6-6 team. So you have your chance to rise up the rankings when you play Georgia next Saturday. Number 10, I got Arkansas. Arkansas's look good this year. They gave Ole Miss all they could handle. They lost by 6. They did score a late touchdown to make it look closer than it was. But I like what I see from Arkansas so far. I just don't think they're quite there to where they're going to be in the top half of the conference. Number 9, I got Ole Miss. Ole Miss is above Arkansas because they beat Arkansas. I've not been impressed with Ole Miss yet. Their offense looked pretty good last week. They struggled with Kentucky. I mean, they only beat Kentucky by 10. But they struggle with Kentucky for some reason. They got plenty of chance to prove me wrong. They got Tulane this weekend. If they go out and beat Tulane by 3 or 4 touchdowns, I might move them up. Spreading that game's, I think, 12.5, 13.5. So they got a chance to go out and maybe get moved up the list. We'll see how things go Saturday. At 8, I got Texas. Their offenses look bad. Arch looks terrible. Their defense is amazing. They went toe-to-toe with number 1 first week of the year. They had chances in that game. They didn't capitalize on them. Even with as bad as Arch Manning played, they were still in that game with a chance to win. So I'm not going to hold it against them yet. They still got a lot of tough. They got a couple of tough games. They got a lot easier schedule than Oklahoma does these first 2 years, but that can change. Number 7, I got Missouri. I may be a little higher on them than I should be. We'll find out Saturday if they handle South Carolina pretty well. And they could move up. If they don't, they could drop down. But besides the first quarter against Kansas, they've dominated every game they played. And the last 3 quarters against Kansas, They dominated Kansas. They fell down 21-7, I think, or 21-6, and then Kansas barely scored the rest of the game. At 6, I got Vandy. Vandy's looked good. Vandy kicked South Carolina's ass Saturday. With or without Lenore Sellers, South Carolina shouldn't have lost 31-7 at home. They did. Vandy went in there. Looks physical. Looks tough. Vandy is 6, y'all. Pavia is backing up his talk so far from the offseason. There's still a long way to go. Vandy has a tough-ass schedule, but for right now, they're sitting at 6. They got Georgia State this weekend. If you don't remember, last year they beat Georgia. They beat Virginia Tech. Then in overtime, then next week they lost to Georgia State. So they got a chance to redeem themselves. Tennessee lost to Georgia State a few years ago too when we had freaking Jeremy Pruitt. That's probably the maddest I've ever been after a loss in my life. Number 5, I got LSU. Their defense is why they're so high. I still think they probably lose 3 games this year. But until someone beats them, I'm going to keep them relatively high. I'm not a believer in Brian Kelly. Never have been. Until he does it, I won't be. He literally left Notre Dame, never won a BCS or New Year's Six game. Then as soon as he leaves, Marcus Freeman takes him to the national title, and he said he left Notre Dame because he didn't think he could win a national title there. Marcus Freeman goes to the national title game 2-3 years after Kelly leaves. And LSU ain't been to the playoff or won more than 9 games in the regular season since Kelly got there. I think Kelly's one of the most overrated coaches in football. But so far, he's beat Clemson, who I think was overrated, and he beat Florida. So I'm going to have him up there just based off of the competition he's played. Even though both the teams he's played was overrated, they're better than a lot of teams have played so far. So at 4, I got Texas A&M. I had Notre Dame a little over. I thought Notre Dame was a little overrated coming into the year. That's still a good win at South Bend. I predicted Notre Dame to start 0-2. They did. I think they could still lose to Arkansas or USC too. I'm pretty sure I picked them to lose to one of them. I had them going 9-3 this year. So I wasn't as high on Notre Dame as everybody else. So that's why Texas A&M's only at 4. They defense needs to get shored up a little bit, which that's about everybody on this list up at the top, besides LSU. Oklahoma at 3, y'all. I really need to see them against Auburn this weekend. I'm not a believer in Michigan. Like I said, I think they're an 8-4 team. But Oklahoma's looked pretty good. I like Venables' defense. I think Oklahoma's schedule is too tough, though. I do think Oklahoma ends up losing 3 games, probably, maybe even 4, because their schedule's so tough. The SEC definitely gave Oklahoma the gauntlet and gave Texas the easy schedule for the first 2 years. But as of right now, I got Oklahoma at 3. Number 2, I got my Tennessee Volunteers, y'all. I'm still heartbroken over last Saturday. We win that game 9 out of 10 times. All you got to do is make that kick. I think the false start, everything that just happened all there at once got in the kicker's head. He gets the one in overtime. We should have hit the one at the end of regulation, but we lost. That's why we're at 2. If we'd have won, I'd have us the number 1. But my number 1 team is Georgia. They come into a hostile environment. They're the only team to win in Knoxville in the last 3 years. Going on 4 this year will be year 4. So I had to put them number 1, y'all. They played their ass off. They should be number 2, but they got the win. So damn it, I had to put them at 1. That's all there is to it. Up next, I want y'all to really get in the comment section and tell me what y'all agree with and what y'all don't agree with on them lists right there. I want to know y'all's list. I want to go back and forth with you on them. So let me know y'all's list in the comments. Next, I want to talk about Dabo, y'all. I don't have the clip. I just got kind of cliff notes from it. He's asked something about basically why are they struggling, and he went off. I mean, he's so thin-skinned, y'all. He said the fans ain't all in after a couple losses. They weren't truly committed to the program in the first place. The program's built to last, and he has a long memory, and he'll remember everybody that's down on him. And they will bounce back. He also stated that the scoreboard doesn't tell you what kind of team you got. Well, at the end of the day, wins and losses is all that matters, Dabo. He said he's just getting going. He just now learned how to be a head coach. He has a long way to go. If he just now learned how to be a head coach, then he needs to go back to when he didn't know how to be a head coach, when he was winning national titles and making playoffs. Because Clemson's 5-5 in their last 10 games. And he refuses to use the portal. He's got one guy from the portal. He needs to go after. You don't always hit in recruiting. That's what makes the portal great. Teams that use the portal too much, I think, don't win consistently. But teams that recruit at a high level and realize where you missed in the recruiting and feel that need in the transfer portal with somebody you've seen play are usually the teams that stay at the top. He also said, if Clemson's tired of winning, they can send me on my way, but I'm going to go somewhere else and coach. So it sounds like he's fed up with Clemson. Clemson's getting fed up with him. He said, we've won 8 out of the last 10 ACC titles. Well, yeah, that's a product of you coaching in one of the weakest conferences they are. Them and the Big 12 are definitely the weakest. Can the ACC come up? Absolutely. If Miami, Florida State get up, Virginia Tech comes back up some, they can be better, but they've been terrible. Dabo's took advantage of a weak ACC with teams being down. He took advantage of Tennessee being down and got a lot of players we used to get. And it's just, ever since it's getting a little tougher, and NIL come into play, Dabo's not doing what he's doing. You set the standard. You can't get mad when they expect that standard. I think he's tired of Clemson because the last couple of years, they've not been happy with them. And it sounds like Dabo's one of them guys that needs to be praised for what he did in the past, not what he's doing in the present and the future. The program's took a step back. Is he still winning 9 games a year? Absolutely. But he's not being an actual title contender in 3 or 4 years. And this year was supposed to be the year they got the most returning production in the country. They got Kate Klubnik, all this stuff, all these receivers, great defense. They got 3 or 4 guys that's supposed to be first-round picks. And they've already got 2 losses. So how can he be mad that the fans are disappointed? He should be disappointed in himself, and he should be telling the fans that he understands why they're disappointed. I think they're heading for a messy breakup in a year or 2. I really do. He set the standard, but he's not meeting that standard now, so that's on him. That's just how it works. I mean, you set the standard, that's great, but that's how it goes. It's like Philip Fulmer, Bobby Bowden, all these coaches before you that set the standard and didn't change with the times. And Dabo's not changing with the times. When you don't change with the times, guess what happens? You get left behind. Up next, this quarterback is the precautionary tale before Nico and right around the same time as Nico as well. But it don't get talked about. Jaden Rashada, y'all. He's either injured or benched at Sacramento State. And it appears to be the latter. It seems like he's been benched. This was a $13 million guy. He's committed to Miami. 5-star quarterback. Commits to Miami. Then Florida tells him, we're going to give you all this money to come here. He goes there. They don't pay the money. Where does he go? He transfers to Arizona State. He actually plays some as a freshman. Then they got Sam Levitt. Well, he transfers to Georgia. Transfers from Georgia to Sacramento State. Sometimes you got to stick it out. I mean, that's all there is to it. Sometimes you got to stick it out and practice and learn the system. Quarterback is not the place you need to be bouncing around a lot at, especially if you're not the highest IQ guy, because the playbook is hard to learn. And Jaden Rashada went from getting a $13 million NIL deal that he didn't get. Miami was giving him like 8 to 10, I think, and then Florida told him they give him 13. They didn't give it to him. He's suing them. Then he went to Arizona State, didn't play that great there. So he transferred to Georgia and then left Georgia, and now he's a Sacramento State. I know Sacramento State's one of those teams that's trying to build themselves up. They got big investments. They got like Mike Bibby, Shaq, Vic, Vic's at Norfolk State. They got somebody as their coach. They're trying to come up, but this guy literally went from a 5-star quarterback to being on the bench at Sacramento State. Malachi Nelson's another one. USC to Boise to UTEP. Nico's went from Tennessee to UCLA to either entering the draft and hoping like God somebody drafts him late in a late round based on potential, or getting an undrafted free agent deal, or a transferring probably down even more. Somebody said he's thinking about transferring to Miami, Vanderbilt, or Texas Tech. I don't think any of those teams will want him, besides maybe Vandy. But their style is their quarterback being tough and running. Nico's not tough. So hopefully these new kids learn from these guys' mistakes and try to hang out, learn a system, and not just chase a bag. Because these guys had NFL potential, and now they're playing a freaking group of 5 teams. And some of them not even playing there, like Rashada getting benched. So if you're an up-and-coming player, not even just quarterback, look at Rashada, look at Nico, look at Malachi Nelson, and learn from their mistakes. That's all I can tell you. Nobody's even talking about Rashada anymore, or Malachi Nelson, really. Everybody talks about Nico. Those guys are just as big of an example as Nico is. It's like they're forgotten guys because Nico was such a big headline. But Rashada's definitely a cautionary tale too, y'all. We're going to go over the SEC leaders real quick in receiving, rushing, and passing. And receiving, we got 2 Tennessee players in the top 10, y'all. We got Braylon Staley, Chris Brazel at 2 and 10. Texas A&M's guys at number 1, Mario Craver. Seems like the number 1 guy in the conference. Harrison Wallace at Ole Miss at 3. Jeremy Bernard at 5. Omega Blake from Arkansas at 6. Kevin Coleman Jr. at Missouri at 5-7. Aaron Anderson at 8 at LSU. Jaron Kanak at Oklahoma at 9. What really surprises me the most is that Aaron Anderson is LSU's leading receiver, and they bought in Barian Brown and Nick Anderson. Chris Brazel's absolute dog. Braylon Staley's been good. Mike Matthews been good. Miles Kitson. We spread the ball around, so we're not going to have one guy with a lot of yards. Chris Brazel's been the deep ball guy. That's why he's up there right behind Mario Carver. In Alabama, Jeremy Bernard. He's been consistent the last 2 years, and all anybody talks about is Ryan Williams. And Ryan Williams has a couple of explosive plays, but as far as being a great wide receiver, he's not shown that yet. He's a great athlete. When he gets the ball, he makes crazy stuff happen sometimes. But as far as being a polished receiver, he's a long ways away. SEC passing leaders, you got Pavia at 10, Nussmeier at 9, Stockton at 8. And Stockton got probably about 250, 260 of those last week. Shapen at 7, Pavula at 6, Simpson at 5, Taylor Green at 4, Marcel Reed at 3, Aguilar at 2, Mateer at 1. Aguilar's played a little tougher competition. Then Mateer's way down on the touchdowns compared to Aguilar and Marcel Reed and Taylor Green. Nobody on that list really surprised me. Nussmeier being way down surprised me because I thought he'd be better coming into the year. Pavia's about where I thought he would. He's not a guy that gets a lot of passing yards. He runs and does all that. But Pabula, he surprised me really with Missouri. But Aguilar's one good game against UAB this weekend, and Mateer not having that great of a game against Auburn away from being the number 1 passer in the SEC. But, will Aguilar play more than 2 quarters? Probably not. Last, we got the rushing leaders. Missouri's got 2 guys on here, y'all. Tennessee got Star Thomas at 9. We've played like 4 different running backs. I've watched Missouri. They use the 2 for the probably about 95% of the time. So Ahmad Hardy's up 150 yards from the next guy. Jeremiah Cobb. Taylor Green's a 3 on top of his passing yards. Kawan Lacey. Seth McGowan from UK. Mike Washington Jr., Arkansas. Jaden Ball, Florida. Jamal Roberts, Missouri. There's Missouri's second guy. Star Thomas at 221. Dante Dowdle, 214. Tennessee probably have another guy up there, but we really use 4 running backs every game, basically. The one surprise on there is Florida, because all you heard all season was how Florida's got probably the best offensive line in the conference, and their lines got dominated every week. That's why you can't always trust preseason intel, y'all. And all we heard was how bad Aguilar was going to be, and look at him. Got 1 or 2 more things I want to talk about here, y'all. Found this crazy. Look at Raiola, y'all. This picture of Raiola, that's Nebraska. Look at this. Nebraska hasn't beaten a ranked opponent since September 17, 2016. So over 9 years, a little over 9 years. They're 0-28 against ranked teams. I think that streak ends Saturday. They're going to break a 9-year streak of losing to ranked teams. That is absolutely insane. That's the Bo Pelini era. They've been terrible since they fired Pelini, and he's going 9-3. It just goes to show you how any of these big programs think they can't fall off. They can. Tennessee done it. Nebraska done it. Florida State done it for a little while. Miami's done it. USC done it. Don't ever say, oh, well, we need to fire this coach that's winning 19 games a year and think you can just hire somebody and it'll all be okay. Because that ain't how it works, y'all. Trust me, some of these athletic departments are not ran as good as you think they was. Tennessee's wandered the wilderness for 15 years too, y'all. Got 1 or 2 more things on the show. This one's funny. It's Arch Manning thing. This is halftime of the UTEP game. It said Arch Manning first half stats: 5 for 10, 26 passing yards, 13 rushing yards, 3 commercials. And that's true. He's literally he's on that commercial all the time about his glasses that turned him into this great quarterback. He got all this NIL money and stuff just to go out on the field and not look good. And there's still hope for him. I'm not saying there ain't still hope for him. This one, y'all, I should have put him on my most overrated player list, but they ain't played anybody yet, and I said that for me to put him on there yet. But I didn't realize Aller had been this bad, y'all. I told you he sucks against top 15 competition. He's 50% guy against top 15 competition. But his QBR this year is 38.3 through the first 3 games, y'all. He'd have a better rating if he spiked the ball in the dirt on every play. I told y'all all offseason Aller would not be a top first-round pick. He's never shown anything to say he would be. Why everybody keeps hyping him up is beyond me. And that's why Penn State will not win a national title. They will not beat Ohio State or Oregon. Because their quarterback play is not since James Franklin's been there, they've not had a good enough quarterback play to beat teams like that. They beat everybody else. They beat the rest of the weak competition in the conference. But now that Oregon and USC's joined, that Penn State might lose more than 2 games a year now. If they end up with the schedule with some of them on there altogether, it's very possible they could lose games. That's the show for today, y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, get in the comments section, tell me what you think of my list, tell me what your lists are. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. God bless you. Go Vols.